What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the college basketball slate on February 10th. We got a nice little 7-game slate today to break down for you. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to that channel. It really helps me grow. Leave a comment, tell me who you think the best play today is. That really helps me out as well. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon for only $5 a month, you are going to get this spreadsheet that you see right here for every single day, along with projections for every single day for the rest of the year, including March Madness, which we're going to have a ton of stuff for that. I can't wait for that. So be sure to stick around for all that. Without further ado, let's get into the players. We're going to start with the first game. We're going to talk about Virginia versus Georgia Tech. And look, I'm not interested in this game at all. I mean, it's going to be a continued thing. Like, when we're playing, first of all, I don't really like anybody from Virginia anyway because the total's always going to be so low. But especially guys from the opposing team, I don't want to play players against Virginia. I mean, look, this game has a total of 128.5. It's the lowest total game on the entire slate. It's going to be also the slowest pace game on the slate, 67.6. It's not a good game to target. But the one guy I will say is Reese Beekman. I like him. I gave him 39 minutes today. He's $4,500 at a 0.56 point per minute. Isn't great, but he's cheap. He's going to play a lot of minutes. One thing about Georgia Tech, this is going to be a pace up spot for Virginia, so that is pretty good. But still, for the most part, I don't want to target them that much. Reese Beekman would be the one guy in this game that I would like to target. Next game we're going to talk about, we'll get into another somewhat interesting game. It's going to be LSU versus Mississippi State. This is going to be a game I do like today. It has a total of 145.5. Going to be the second highest total game on the slate. Has a pace of 72.55. That's going to be a pretty fast-paced game. I don't believe it's the fastest game. It is the fastest-paced game on the slate, so that's really good. That's going to be a game. This is definitely going to be a game I really like to target, especially from the Mississippi State side, because they're in a big pace-up spot. LSU is kind of in a pace-down spot. It's not as great a spot for them. But on the Mississippi State side, I love four guys. I like Iverson Molinar. He's 6,200. I gave him 31 minutes today. He's a 0.8 point per minute guy. Usage rate 26.6 and assist rate 20. He's got high usage rate, high assist rate. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's cheap. He's too cheap for that, especially in a fast-paced matchup and a high-scoring matchup. DJ Stewart, a little bit more expensive, $7,200, but he's going to play a little bit more minutes, has a little bit of a higher usage rate, 27.8. Also has like a 0.8 point per minute. If we can see Iverson Molinar get a little bit more minutes, it's going to be even better for him. But DJ Stewart, I really like. He's going to be one of my favorite pay-up options today. He's definitely going to be someone I'd like to target. Abdul Ado is $4,000. He's just going to project out as a really good value. I only gave him 23 minutes today, but he's a 0.7 point per minute guy. He's going to play 23 minutes in this high-scoring, fast-paced game. I'm going to like that on a slate where there's really not a ton of value. So Abdul, as of now, there could be some later of injuries and stuff, but right now, Abdul Ado is looking like a pretty decent value. Someone I'm going to like to get in some tournament lineups. He's not going to be a cash play because I don't think he's going to play enough minutes, but definitely someone I'm interested in for tournaments. Tolu Smith is $6,700. I gave him 34 minutes today. He's a 0.89 point per minute guy with a usage rate of 21.1 and a rerun rate of 15.6. That's going to look pretty good for his price tag in this great game. And on the other side, I'm only going to really be interested in Javonte Smart. He's $6,900. I gave him 39 minutes today. He is a 0.8 point per minute guy with a usage rate of 21.5 and assist rate 21. For now, that's probably going to be the only guy LSU I'm interested in. Now, if Darius Days misses again, I think Darius Days is going to play today, but if Darius Days is out again, that's going to free up some pretty good minutes for Wilkinson. I honestly forgot his first name. It's flying off the top of my head right now. But Wilkinson's going to get some extra minutes, as will Gaines. So those are going to be the two guys I'm going to look for if Darius Days were to miss. Next game we're going to talk about is Missouri versus Ole Miss. This game is a little bit for me. I'm going to like the Ole Miss side better than the Missouri side. Total is only 133. It's going to be a 72.05 pace game, which is not bad. But Missouri is going into a pace down spot where Ole Miss is going into a pace up spot, so that's going to look good for them. Mark Smith's $4,700 here. He's going to be the one guy I'm interested in here. He's just going to play 31 minutes. He's going to be on the floor a lot. He's only a 0.58 point per minute guy, which isn't great. If he usage rate 19.2, which isn't great. But at $4,700, that's going to look pretty good for the amount of minutes he's playing. I'm going to call him a great play on the day, but he does look solid. Now, on the other side of this game, we have Ole Miss, where I'm going to start by talking about KJ Buffin. KJ Buffin came back last game from, and he was out for something. I think it was a personal issue, actually. And he only played like 15 minutes, but if we can see him get back to his usual minutes, which is like in the 20s, he's going to be the best value on the slate today. I mean, in a pace-up spot, $3,400, a 0.82 point per minute play with usage rate 20. Just that's going to be your value today if you're looking to go there. I guess we have to pay attention to news, like make sure that he's going to play his minutes. If we hear from coaches and beat writers that KJ Buffin, is going to go back to normal minutes, and he's a great play. But if we're only going to see him get about 15 minutes again, then he's not going to be a great play. So just be paying attention to that as the lot comes around. That's going to be something important we need to pay attention to. And then Romello White is $6,600. I gave him 33 minutes today. He's a .8 point per minute player with a usage rate of 18.4 and a rebound rate of 12.2. That's going to look pretty good. And then Luis Rodriguez is my favorite player on this, aside from KJ Buffin, on this team. He's $6,200. I gave him 31 minutes. He's a .95 point per minute player. He does a little bit of everything. He has a usage rate of 17.5, assist rate of 16.2, rebound rate of 15.1. Just seems a little bit too cheap for his usage and the matchup today. Next game we're going to talk about is Iowa versus Rutgers. Iowa is not playing good. They're defensively just bad. Like that's going to kill them in the tournament. Anyway, this game has a total of 150.9, which is the highest total game on the slate. Has a pace of 72.2, which is a pretty fast-paced game. Iowa's going into a pace down spot, but Rutgers going into a pace up spot, and they're playing against Iowa, which is horrible defensively. Iowa's becoming like the Brooklyn Nets at college, except the Brooklyn Nets offensively obviously are a lot better. But like in comparison to who they're playing against, Luka Garza's good, but he ain't that good. So the two guys I'll be interested in on Iowa are going to be Jordan Bohannon and Luka Garza. I think Bohannon's a little bit too cheap at $5,900. I gave him 33 minutes today. He's a .78 point per minute guy. Has a usage rate of 16.4 and an assist rate of 23.9. I just think he's a little bit too cheap. I'm always going to be interested in Luka Garza, man. I mean, look, this guy's he's a 1.3 point per minute, usage rate of 32.7. As long as he doesn't get into foul trouble, which we saw last game against, who did they just play last week? They lost, Indiana. They lost to Indiana on Super Bowl Sunday. As long as that doesn't happen, he's going to be fine. Going to be a great play. I'm at $9,700. And then on the Rutgers side, I'm going to be interested in Geo Baker, Miles Johnson, Ron Harper. Pretty much their big three players. Geo Baker is $6,300. I gave him 33 minutes. He has a .72 point per minute. Usage rate of 17.7. Just a pace of spot against Iowa. Terrible defensive team in Iowa. I love that. Then Miles Johnson, $7,200. I gave him 30 minutes. He's a 1.1 point per minute player, usage rate of 16.8 and a rebound rate of 20.1. And Luka Garza is a great offensive player, but defensively he is not that good. Miles Johnson should be fine here. I'm not worried about that matchup at all. And then Ron Harper Jr., who is on the cover today, $6,900. I gave him 32 minutes. He's a .92 point per minute player, usage rate 23.9. I'd say he's probably their best player. Not their best fantasy player. Miles Johnson is definitely their best fantasy player, but Ron Harper Jr. is probably going to be an NBA player, where the rest of these guys won't. I expect a big game from him today against Iowa. This is a really big time matchup. I'm actually really excited to watch this game. So, I think Rutgers is going to win, to be honest. But Ron Harper, I'm expecting a big game from him in this matchup. Next game we're going to talk about is Wisconsin versus Nebraska. I'm not interested in anybody on Nebraska. Nebraska, man, they're bad. That team's just so bad. This game only has a total of 137. It's going to be a pace down spot, big time for Nebraska, but a big pace up spot here for Wisconsin. Nebraska is playing at a pretty fast pace, and they're just awful defensively. They can't guard anybody. That team's just bad, man. They're so bad. They got blown up by Michigan State the other day. Michigan State's horrible. So, I expect just a dominant win here. Demetric Trice, Salim Ford, Tyler Wall, Brad Davison, all of them are too cheap. They all have pretty good usage rates. They all have pretty good point per minutes. They're all going to play in the 30s. The one thing I will say is there's a little bit of worry of blowout run here, so I probably wouldn't load up on too many Wisconsin players, but still for the most part they should get, but see the thing is, if they blow out Nebraska, that means all these guys did really good. So, especially Lean Ford, he's way too cheap. This is the one guy that's way too cheap. $4,200, that's the one value I love on this team. He's my best value overall on this slate actually right now, so Lean Ford is going to be someone I really like. The next game we're going to talk about, Villanova Marquette. This game has an implied total of 139.5, so pretty decent. We're going to look at a slight pace up spot for Villanova and a slight pace down spot for Marquette. Not really too interested in anybody on Marquette outside Dawson Garcia. Prices just don't look as great. I gave him 31 minutes, though. 0.95 point per minute, usage rate 21.5, and a rebound rate 12.9. That's going to look good. Then the Villanova side, I do like Colin Gillespie and Jeremiah Robinson Earl. They're both pretty expensive, but both are going to play in the upper 30s of minutes. Jeremiah Robinson Earl is 1.05 point per minute. Gillespie is 0.8. Robinson Earl has a usage rate 24.2, and assist rate 12.6, and a rebound rate of 13.1. Then Gillespie has a usage rate 20.6, assist rate 24.9, only a rebound rate of 4.9, but he has a point guard. We don't really expect that from him. So I do like both of them a good bit. They're going to look like two of my favorite plays. Then last game of the day is going to be USF and Houston. This game doesn't interest me a lot. Only has a total of 128.5. I think it's tied for the lowest total of Virginia. Not going to be a game I want to get to. It's going to be a low-paced game at 69.85. That's not going to be something I'd love to get to. Quentin Grimes will be the one guy I'm interested in. I gave him 39 minutes. He is $7,700, a .95 point per minute player, with usage rate 26.7 and assist rate of 14. But that's really the only guy I'm really too interested in on this side. USF, I'm not interested at all. They have like a total of like 58 today, so I don't want anybody from that team. That's not going to be something I really want to target. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say on this video. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you want to subscribe to that Patreon, I'll put the link down below as well. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.